Okay, so for the past few weeks, people's been asking me on and off on my videos, which front end do I recommend and which one do I prefer? Which is my front end of choice? So people will ask me Retrobat versus Batocera, Emulation Station, Batocera, you know, whatever. So I thought I'd do a video and give you the reasons why I totally recommend Launchbox. So it's a very controversial opinion. We all know that there's free front-end systems out there, which is mainly what I cover on my channel. Retrobat has obviously got the most subscribers for me on this channel. So I'll give you a good explanation of why I think Launchbox is probably the best you're going to get out there. And before you even think it, no, I'm not being paid by Launchbox developers to do this video. It's going to cost you some money. Obviously, like I say, we all know that Launchbox costs money. Certainly if you want to get the big box option, and we're also going to need to invest a little bit of money into Emulator too. So let me show you why I think Launchbox is better. If I just open up Launchbox. Now this is Commodore 64, for example. Now first of all, this isn't big box. I'm going to show you that in a minute. This is your main interface for Launchbox. If you're using a free version of this, you're not going to get Neon Deluxe arcade theme like I've got here. So this in itself, to me, is a really nice layout. Now, something in particular that I'm into is microcomputers, and Commodore 64 is, of course, one of my favorite systems. So rather than Super Nintendo or the generic Nintendo NES 8-bit, my personal favorite system is the C64 for many reasons. So let me give you an example. Artwork through Launchbox and Emulator. You can scrape artwork in better artwork than on most of these free front ends. Let me give you an example. If I just scroll down through my C64 games, I'm going to come across a title which I've not scraped. I'm not sure what this is, The Silence of the Stones. Let me give you an example where I can really easily edit this in order to get some artwork. So what I'm going to do is just right click on that. If I go to edit metadata media, this is then going to bring up a little window and it's going to give us a lot of information, and it's really simple in order to edit the information to get the artwork you want. So here we go. This is the information for this particular game. This is released in 1989 and it's a homebrew type of game. We've even got developer's name here. So yes, a lot of front-end free systems such as Retrobat will have all this information, but I just like this feature. We've got all of these options here for different things for this particular game, you know, so in depth. So let's say, for example, I want to try and scrape some artwork for this. It's not recognized the game because there probably isn't any artwork for this particular game, to be honest. It's a homebrew game and it's totally forgotten about. But what we can do is just edit this. Let's just take out the, and if I go to close out of this and then search for metadata, it's going to ask us to update metadata package. So if I just put yes on this, just to update this briefly. And this is a good thing about Launchbox. When you're doing things like that, it's constantly being updated. Whereas things like Retrobat, it gets a new update, stable version update, couple of times a year. Launchbox is a premium system, so you're going to be paying for this. You know, you get what you pay for in life. It's a very old school philosophy, but it's very true. So we're just waiting for this, and now metadata has been updated. So we got Silence of the Stones, and it's now searching the local database for information and potential pictures. But here we go. So we've now found Launchbox database, The Silence of the Stones. If I just use this, then I press OK. So what I'm going to do, now that that metadata has been updated, I'm going to attempt to scrape all the artwork. So a really easy way Launchbox of doing this is Control and A on your system, so everything's highlighted. If you go to Tools, Download, Update Metadata, and Media for selected games, I'm going to go to Next, Next. This is another good feature with even the free versions of Launchbox. is that the first section of this you're going to see is you get the option to download what you want in terms of artwork. So something like Retrobat, and I'm not poo-pooing Retrobat, I'm just using it as an example because it's the most setup guides I've got on my channel. You're kind of limited to the types of artwork you can get on there, whereas on here, and this part is free, we got so much more. And in terms of artwork, artwork means everything to some people to really make your front end look awesome. So what I'm going to do for this particular game, because it didn't scrape it the first time round, I'm going to check all and I'm going to go to next. Now, because I'm subscribed to Emulator, which cost me $3 I think it was, or a couple of pounds in the UK, I've also got the option to download from Emulator, which is also going to give us more artwork and preview videos. So again, I'm going to go to check all and next. And I can also download theme battles through this. So next again, and I'm going to go for do not replace any existing fields or media. So what this is going to do is ignore all the media or the artwork that I've already scraped and just pretty much pick out the missing artwork and go to finish. So this is going to take a little bit of time because I've got a lot of C64 games on here. But what I'm going to do is just go through some of these really cool features we got for Launchbox. If I go to image group and I go to screenshots, because I've downloaded from a combination of the free scraper as well as Emulator, I've now got all my C64 games in this format. And we can obviously launch the games from here. I've connected Retroarch to this. And again, if we go to image group and we go to something like carts, we then got in the C64's case, majority of these are actually cassette tapes. And geeks like me into microcomputers, I would say get off on this, but like this type of thing. And again, image group, we can go to something like marquees. And we're going to get marquees. So it's going to take a little bit of time to load everything up, because I'm obviously downloading metadata. So as we know, I'm using the Neon Deluxe arcade theme at the moment, and like I also said, that this is only for people who's actually got a legitimate licensed version of Launchbox, which is around £25 or $30, and that's going to last a year. And any subsequent updates after that, you'll need to pay an extra $10, I think it is. But considering all the updates and everything else, the perfection I think Launchbox is, I think it's worth that. If we go to Tools, Manage Launchbox Themes, we can then download additional themes. So at the moment, we got Neon Deluxe Arcade, which has got a green tick next to it. But we've got other themes, and update after update, these are getting improved too. So there's plenty there, and obviously I've only downloaded and installed the Neon Deluxe. I've also got the default and the all default here. So even the defaults are pretty nice to look at nowadays in Launchbox. So if I want to apply a theme, I just go on to apply theme. Here we go, and yeah, just to say that Launchbox recently had a 13.10 update, and I've not looked into it, but from what someone said today, it's actually got AI inside of Launchbox at the moment. Like I said, I've not looked into it. We've also got a new feature from 13.9 called the Game Discovery Center. Again, I've not looked into this because I've been pretty busy over Christmas, plus I'm making videos pretty much all day long. But yeah, it's got a lot going for it. So obviously we've now changed our theme to default, and as you can see, if you're using an OLED monitor like I am right now, the artwork really stands out at you. So what I'm going to do is just show you a bit of big box. So I'm going to just ignore scraping the artwork for that game, because I think you know where I'm going with that. Now if I want to go into big box, which is obviously the paid version of Launchbox, if I just click on those lines just there and go to big box,
visualizing big box.
So this is Big Box, and in Big Box we got lots of different themes to use within Big Box. So if I just go to this menu just here, manage themes, and here we can download a host of themes. Now if I go down to all, we've got a lot of themes here, and some of these are really comparable with something like Hyperspin. So there's some really impressive themes here, and on top of actually installing the theme and applying it, we can then go into particular themes and edit the way they look. Say we go into Neo Geo, from the Neo Geo we can then edit it to look like something else rather than using the main theme layout, if that makes sense. So if I just scroll down very briefly, we're also going to get information on each theme for what it's suitable for. So for example, we got 3 dimensions just here. Aspect ratio 16.9 widescreen only. Aeonox is a very nice theme too. And again, this was for 16:9 widescreen. You'll also see other themes here, aspect ratio any, and there's plenty of those, so you're not actually just restricted to 16:9. Now, I like a lot of themes on other free front ends, such as Batocera in Retrobat, but I just feel that the look on some of these, they look a little bit more premium. Like I said, you get for what you pay for in life. What we can actually do to explore these themes even further, if we just select, say, cover box, and under description it's going to tell you all the platforms which this particular theme is going to show up. So pretty much all the main systems are there. If we just go over to views, we can then see how this is going to look like and the different styles of this particular theme, how we can lay this out. We come out of this and come out again. We've even got options here, which we can then go into attract mode, and we can enable attract mode from here. And if we come back out, we can mess around with transitions. We can change startup sounds. Like I said, there's more options with Launchbox and Big Box than I've experienced on any other front-end system that I've covered on my channel. And it's for little things like this, or rather larger things like this, which is why I prefer Launchbox and Big Box. So plenty of options there. Now, Game Discovery Center, which I mentioned just now, was an update to 13.9. I've not actually checked this out yet, so I'm going to just click on here. Now, like I said, I truly have no idea what this is about, but when I've got some free time, I'm actually going to explore this a little bit further. It looks pretty cool, and it's got lots of classic old games on it. We also got Retroarch NetPlay browser on here. So from here, we can play certain games online, that type of thing, which is quite a cool feature. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just switch to desktop mode. And I think a lot of people with Launchbox also get freaked out that it's a very complex system in order to map out emulators, that type of thing, but it really isn't that difficult. Majority of systems through Launchbox is easiest by using Retroarch. So of course on Retroarch you don't have cores on there for PlayStation 3, but having said that, setting up RPCS 3 for Launchbox isn't really that hard. So let me just show you a game. So I'm going to go back to Commodore 64 and I'm using a Retroarch core for my C64 games. I'm going to go to image group a minute and go back to 3D boxes. And I'm going to just quickly pick out a game. So I'm going to go for Defenders of the Earth. So to play this, if I right click on the game, launch with Retroarch, and I'm going to be using the Vice 64 Libretto core for this. Now of course I can launch these through Big Box, but most of the time when I do play Launchbox I'm just using it through the interface I'm using now. But Big Box is really nice too when I've got extra time to be using that. Now of course, because I've got this mapped up with Retroarch, I can access the Retroarch quick menu just as I could with something else like Retrobat. But I think Launchbox is really best off suited really for people like myself who likes to see a lot of visuals, and there's plenty of those people around. So through quick menu we can change video settings, that type of thing, just as you can do on any other front ends. Most front ends have Retroarch running in the background. Retrobat certainly does, and Batocera also does. And you know, even if you're using something like Playnite, which I've also covered on my channel, or Emulation Station, or even EmuDeck for Windows, which I've recently covered, most of those systems pretty much are running 90% of the games using Retroarch in the background. So what I'm going to do is actually take you through Big Box again, and we're going to check out C64. Now just bearing in mind, I've not really touched much of Launchbox. It's a work in progress. Like I say, I'm busy most of the time through the days making videos, and it's also been Christmas, so been a bit busy doing that too. But in the background of one of these speakers we can put music on there, and each one of these games can have preview videos being displayed as well as sound effects. So it's got a lot on there and it's got a lot going for it. In terms of customizing wheels like this, the possibilities truly are endless in Launchbox, and you're not restricted to just a couple of options like on some free front ends. So I'm going to open up a game. Now if I go to Jim Slim, which is a Protovision game, if I just open this up, it doesn't boot up straight away, but we can actually choose from an option what to open it with, and we got loads of different options here how we want to play this game. If I go up to the top in that vision, that field of vision at the top is obscured by that Commodore 64 logo. We can then boot up the game, and instead of just having the board now loading, we can even customize that. It's endless with Launchbox Big Box. Like I say, customizing it is really amazing, and once you've got the paid version of Launchbox, you can really see what your money is going towards. So what I'm going to do whilst I'm in Big Box is actually apply a different theme. So if I go down to Manage Themes, and what I'm going to do is just go to Available, New, Updated, and I'm going to check out 3 dimensions. And what you need to do from here, if you're looking at purchasing Launchbox Big Box, just go to Install. The theme was installed successfully. So what we need to do then to apply it is go to apply as main theme. Yes. Now, like I say, once you've downloaded a theme and you like a particular look of the theme, you can come back out and just change how it looks in other areas. Now, like I say, because you've got so many options in Launchbox, and especially if you sign up with Emumovies, the amounts of artwork you can get for different looks on these different themes are endless as well. You could be there for hours and hours just downloading artwork and preview videos and everything else just for a few games. So technically this theme right now should or could be displaying something else to go alongside it, but that's a matter of research and seeing what other parts this particular theme supports. So that's it. Like I say at the start of the video, everyone's been asking me, or rather several people's been asking me, which is my favourite front-end system, and there you go, that's Launchbox. You know, other front-end systems like Retrobat, I believe it's a really good quality free front-end system. Personally, I think a couple of the developers of Retrobat are particularly rude to me, and they have been very rude to me in the past, considering the amount of downloads I would likely have got them on my channel. But it's not about the developers as such, it's about the product. And I say Retrobat is still a great front end for a freebie. But if you want a more premium look and you're trying to impress your partner, your missus, or your husband, who doesn't really give a damn about it anyways, then the most impressive look you're going to get for a front end by far is going to be Launchbox Big Box. Like I say, I'm not being paid by Launchbox, but this is my honest review of Launchbox and why I like it. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of haters of this video out there, but let's just remember this type of thing is totally subjective, and just because I say I like it, it doesn't mean everyone else has got to like it. It's just my personal taste. But anyways, this is my answer. My favourite is Launchbox, and I'm thinking right now next to that is going to be Emulation Station. But anyways, thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments what you think of Launchbox. If you're looking to try it out for yourself, you've got a good reason there to check it out and purchase yourself a license key for it. Anyways, until next time, stay retro.